Alexa off. So she came over, she had a 3-day-old baby, and she's like, hey, I better come over so the kids can play. So what I didn't know is that I was trapped in my own house, and like, what is she gonna come over for? I'm like, okay. So our kids played in the pool, and she's like, hey, you gotta take a look at something. And she showed me this ABC investigative report.
Oh, I go look at people.
My mind. I knew a lot about nutrition because in 2007,
Can they see us?
going back a little,
No, turn the video
grew up in
off.
Massachusetts, lived there. My husband and I, he was in the insurance industry in Boston, and I was an HR manager in a manufacturing plant. And there was lots of toxin exposures. And in 2007, my blood work was a little off, and so I went to go get checked. Doctor said, go to a hematologist, and they thought I had leukemia, and it wasn't, but they said, come back and get tested. But then in 2008, bad economy, and that's why we're here in Massachusetts, my husband's job gets eliminated, restructuring, all of that happened. So we moved here, and I said to him, one condition, I'll move, but I don't want to work anymore because I work 50, 60, 70 hours a week. I never saw my boys growing up. And I said, I want to be that mom. I want to be there with them. And I don't know anyone in Arizona. And he said, fine, not a problem. So I was home for about a year. And then he decided to put me on a budget. And I'm like, a budget? Like, what? This does not work for me. I've worked since I was 16, always been independent. And I knew that it was time that I had to do something, but I did not want to go to back to that corporate lifestyle. I didn't want to be trapped in that and never see my kids. So I was praying and looking for something. And like I said, at that time, because I knew something was going on in my body, I was tired, I was run down. I was on a health quest. I was, trying to learn everything I could about nutrition, eating right, exercising, so I could get ahead of whatever was going on in my body. And then as I was praying and looking, my neighbor came over and she showed me this ABC investigative report, and it just blew my mind because it was, come on in. It was a medical breakthrough. It was on the Wall Street Journal that this doctor had this scientific breakthrough, and it was featured on ABC Primetime. And it just, the more both of us did, because he was really skeptical, my husband, but the more I did research, the more that I saw, wow, this really has lots of science behind it, and it's good for our bodies, right? It's activating our bodies. And so we've been on it for 9 years. We've had our boys on it. They're both athletes and collegiate athletes, and I've had amazing results. So I can't tell you that it cures, treats, or prevents any disease, but in 2014, I finally went back to get diagnosed properly. Life had settled down because my doctor said your blood work's better, but it's just not normal. And so what they diagnosed me with at the time was multiple myeloma, a different type of blood cancer. The oncologist said, well, it's, incurable cancer and 4 to 5 years to live. And I said, well, I probably started in 2007. Here we are, 2014. And here we are today, 2019. I've never done any treatment, no chemo. I said, no chemo. And I said, what if I don't have the chemo? And he said, well, if you can keep your numbers low. And I told him what I was doing. I told him I was on these products and how my body had changed over the years, and I felt amazing. He said, as long as you can keep your numbers low. And, by the grace of God, my numbers have been low. So I'm super passionate. One of the reasons I'm super passionate about just telling people about this so they can learn about it. And, if it's a fit for you, great. If it isn't, that's okay too. But on the other side, there is a business side to this also, because if you want to share this with people, and we have been so blessed and able to share this with, 9 years ago, it was just me and Carrie started this. And today we have almost 80,000 people on these products around the world in 16 different countries. We've built a $14 million company, just by sharing our passion with people. So we're happy to share this with you today, and hopefully you'll love this information. So if this time's out again. Yeah, so I'm gonna bring up our first speaker today. Hold on, let me get this going here. So we have Joanne Shira all the way from Casa Grande. She drove up. She lived in Sioux Falls. Now she lives here in Arizona. She's a registered dietitian and a master nutritionist, and just a wealth of knowledge. So when she got introduced to this, she knew all about oxidative stress, but she's going to explain what that is. but she had never heard of this activator, of this pathway, of this medical breakthrough. So I'm going to have Joanne come up and, share your knowledge and tell us your story.
Thank you, Chrissy.
Thank you for coming.
Okay, so I actually met Maria in South Dakota, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, right? I think it was February, and
February, yeah.
February,
Don't go to South Dakota in
when
February,
Maria and
whatever
Carrie
you do.
Came up to South Dakota to help me and my mentor in this business, Dr. Mark Gordon, to help us get started with LifeVantage. Thank you very much. I can't thank these ladies enough because of their mentorship. They have been, I owe a lot of my success to them because they're amazing leaders. And that's what I love about our business and our company is that I love the culture that we're here. We're helping people. We help each other. Isn't that true here? People know that. So anyway, yes, I came via South Dakota to Arizona. So when I was introduced to LifeVantage, which is our company tonight that I'm representing, I was the head dietitian at a cardiovascular hospital in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And it was actually kind of a sad time in my life, and I was really grieving the loss of my husband at that point in time, because my husband had died the year before Dr. Mark Gordon stopped by my office and invited me to a presentation like what we're hearing tonight. And so my husband was a very healthy 67-year-old man. He'd eat all the healthy foods that I put in front of him, take his handful of vitamins every day, very active, was running a construction business. One day he started having lightheaded, dizzy spells, got him into the doctor, found out he had brain cancer, stage 4 glioblastoma, if you know what that is, multiforming. And he passed away within 14 months. And so it was a real big wake-up call for me. It was just really rock my world, especially my nutrition world, to be honest. To think that, in spite of everything that we had done health-wise, that he had died prematurely because his brothers had all lived to be his family members, his longevity, lived in old age. So in spite of that, but my husband had a lot of exposure to a lot of toxic chemicals in every occupation he had. Farming and ranching, 2 tours in Vietnam, and Agent Orange, exposed to heavy metals when he worked in a plant in Montana. And then he went into construction. So I just felt that all that toxic exposure had over the years had caused mutations in his genome. And so when I saw our flagship product, Protandim Nerf 2, and what it could do to modify gene expression, what it could do to help with detoxification, provide unbelievable cellular protection, I just thought this is that missing link, that's a missing tool in my tool chest as a nutritionist that I could use to help people. And I got started, wasn't intending on being a business person with this business. I just wanted to share this with people and thinking that they could help others. And what happened was the checks started showing up in my mailbox. And when I started looking at the checks and opening my checks, after 6 weeks, I had $1,000. And a little still small voice inside of me said, Joanne, this is the business you're looking for. Because when my husband died, I didn't have survivor benefits with his pensions. And I just needed that couple extra $1,000 a month. And I'm holding $1,000 in my hands here because when you get out and share this with people, you go to, people they were going to my website and my e-commerce website and ordering product, and the company was shipping it, and then they were giving me checks. And I'm like, what if I really just work harder? What could this do? Maybe I could really, maybe I could make that $2,000 a month so I wouldn't have to be stuck in my windowless office until I'm into my 70s. And I was only 61 at the time. It's a pretty dismal, depressing thought, isn't it? To have to work in your windowless office till you're in your 70s. I didn't want to do that. So I got busy, got to work, and in 2 years, I had replaced my income. So I walked out of my windowless office. This is what I've been doing. I have time and financial freedom, and I have, where's my wonderful, beautiful husband? There, he's hiding in the back there. My husband, Jim, and I was just telling everybody tonight, my husband, he supports me so much. He deserves a round of applause because Thank you. God sent them to me, sure, I know that, so. Anyway, so let's get started in talking about what we are, what we're going to be able to help you tonight with your health. We'll be talking about biohacking and the three theories. Whoops, I think this is, there we go.
Oh, it'll go to the ABC.
It goes to the ABC. Okay, that's right. Okay, so to back up, we're going to be talking about two different theories of aging. So we're going to be talking about three different anti-aging pathways in the human body. I heard something recently that said that there are 20 anti-aging pathways in the human body. Tonight we're going to talk about three of them and how you can biohack your genetic profile and your genetic potential with nutrigenomics, with these anti-aging breakthroughs is really what they are. So we're going to get started. The first thing we're going to do is show you an ABC primetime that aired in 2005. And ABC aired this on the heels of the publication of our first scientific study on our flagship product, Protandim Nerve 2. And you know, the results of this study seemed too good to be true. So ABC said, this can't be true. We got to send our reporter in and check it out. So that's what you're going to see in this video. So let's go ahead and roll the video there.
You want to get an edge on turning back the clock? Well, it's no longer science fiction, but science possibility, a potential breakthrough.
It may not look like the fountain of youth, but inside this nondescript building, I'm about to become part of an exciting experiment. For me, it begins with a blood test.
It wouldn't be the first time I've given blood for this company.
They want to check my levels of something called T-bars, which is a rough indicator of a person's actual age. T-bars can identify a condition known as oxidative stress, a kind of measure of the wear and tear on our bodies. Oxidative stress, like the rusting of an engine, is not a good thing. The problem of aging begins with the very food we eat to give us energy. As our cells burn that food, they also release toxic chemicals. Those chemicals, you may know them as free radicals, react with all the components of our cells, literally bombarding them millions of times per second, damaging all our cells. The result? Oxidative stress. We all have it. The body fights back with a system of defenses. It makes two antioxidant enzymes, catalase and SOD, whose job is to gobble up the free radicals before they can harm our cells.
So, doctor, how often do I take these?
And so, here I go. With that swallow, I've just become part of a potentially landmark scientific experiment. It's called Protandim, and tests have already shown that it revs up the manufacture of those good enzymes in our bodies. More enzymes, fewer free radicals to harm us. Normally, oxidative stress, measured by those T-bars, increases with age, but taking just one pill of Protandim a day reversed that trend for everyone at every age, even for an 80-year-old. So just what's in this seemingly incredible pill? Well, actually, its roots are very humble. Protandim is a combination of 5 plant ingredients. Some you may know: green tea or turmeric, a spice used in Indian cooking. Others, Withania somnifera and Silybum marianum, are more exotic.
High oxidative stress is associated with more than aging. It's been linked to hundreds of illnesses.
It's at the very center of many diseases: liver disease, diabetes, emphysema, asthma, all of these, strokes, heart attacks.
Even mental disease.
Yes,
Depression.
Alzheimer's disease, depression.
But what about my progress? After nearly 2 weeks now, it's time to get my results. The result? My level of oxidative stress has declined dramatically. Just look at where I fall on the graph, before and after. Have we turned back the clock? Maybe not on the outside, but deep inside within my cells. Yes, indeed.
We do know that oxidative stress is part of those disease processes. I don't want to wait until I'm 80 years old and find out that I should have taken it.
The company that makes Protandim says its tests show the pill, made from ingredients used for centuries, is absolutely safe. For more, go to our website at abcnews.com.
LifeVantage began in a lab with a single powerful scientific discovery. A discovery that proved that people around us have more capacity, potential, and ability within them than we have been led to believe. At LifeVantage, we can no longer accept the limits of the human condition. So we began introducing the world of biohacking. The idea that you can be better today than you were yesterday. That you can take control of your own biology. That your health doesn't have to decline as you get older. You don't have to simply accept the hand you've been dealt. In just a few short years, LifeVantage has brought biohacking to the mainstream, shortening the gap between cutting-edge scientific research and the customer. Every day in research labs around the world, we are learning how much more our bodies can do for us if we only flip the right internal switches. So we're creating products that flip those switches. And we're doing it with a dedication to quality and safety and a different approach to selling those products. Sure, we could have gone the expected route. Sold our products on big box shelves just like everyone else. In fact, at first we did just that. But we realized something. Our product sales were fueled by word of mouth and personal success stories, not marketing dollars. So we stopped paying big box stores and started paying our customers for what they were already doing, which allowed us to eliminate the gamble of traditional advertising in favor of performance-based payouts. And in the process, we ended up turning biohacking into a movement, empowering women, minorities, and all entrepreneurs to break societal barriers and realize what they're capable of, fueled by the power of leveraged income. From 127 biohackers when we began to over 1 million in less than a decade. The movement has become a global phenomenon with no signs of slowing down. And our products aren't the only way we're investing in human potential. We're creating hardworking technology using AI, machine learning, and mobility to make it as easy to run a LifeVantage business as it is to take an Uber.
Welcome to the LifeVantage app.
Because of that first profound discovery, we are fiercely dedicated to helping others see what we have seen, to see the immense potential in those around us. It's an inspiring way to see the world. It's why the biohacker movement continues to grow at a blistering pace. It's why giving back to our communities is a fundamental core belief. And it's why in a few short years, we have expanded into 15 countries and counting and grown from one groundbreaking nutrigenomic product to over 20. It's why we now have relationships with CEOs, sports teams, and influencers. It's why LifeVantage has grown from $3 billion in revenue our first year to closing in on $250 million. And it's why we will never stop. Because to change the way the world sees, you can't merely settle for different. You have to be better and engineer a world of potential in the process.
Okay, so the ABC News piece aired in 2005, and when that aired, the company in the following month received $5 million in orders. It's just unbelievable, the interest. But there wasn't, we didn't have a manufacturing facility or distribution facility to get the product out to people. So as I talked about in the video, they tried big box stores, 10,000 retail stores. They tried to market Protandim in those retail outlets, but it wasn't selling. And a couple reasons is because Protandim was sitting on the shelf with the antioxidant vitamins. And what you're going to learn tonight is that Protandim is not an antioxidant. It's a breakthrough in a new category of drugs and supplements called NRF2 activators. It should have had its own shelf that said NRF2, and it'd be the only one sitting on the shelf, right? And it was also priced at $49.95, and the antioxidant bottle vitamin C, $10, $12, whatever. And so it just didn't succeed in the sales didn't succeed in that model until they put it into person-to-person distribution model where we share stories, like they say, and we educate people, right? And so that's when the company really took off, is when they changed their marketing channels. And so that's why we're all here today. One thing that, and I'll tell you what the reason why I am here today and with this company is because of the science. Because when Dr. Mark Gordon introduced this to me, we had 7 high-quality research studies on Protandim Nerve 2. And, it's very difficult for dietary supplement companies to get independent third-party research because there's just the research dollars are just not, available often and out there. The drug companies have very deep pockets, right? And so that really impressed me. I said, 7 studies, wow, from prestigious American Heart Association had funded a study and published a study. The American Juvenile Diabetes Association funded a study, and I'm like, this is amazing. Well, now we have 26 research studies that validate what that first study showed. It's only continued to grow. And the research, so if you go to pubmed.gov, you can go read the research. It's really impressive. Okay, so let's go back to the theme of that ABC News piece. What's the theme? Oxidative stress, bad for the body, leading to disease. It is the main criteria and definition of why and how we age. It's oxidative stress. It's stress done to your body by toxic molecules called free radicals. And I call them buzz bombs because they literally destroy everything that they bump into in your body. And so where do you get those free radicals? Well, you get them from, I talked about that earlier, right? I named some of the environmental sources, like my husband and that toxic exposure, right? Maria was talking about in her manufacturing facility, right? You had all this toxic exposure. And so pollution, just think of when you're sitting in your car and all the pollution you're breathing in. Oh, cell phones. Oh my goodness, look at how we're just getting bombarded every day. 360 septillion or some crazy number, right? And so another way to describe it is the rusting of your body from the inside out. That's oxidative stress. Or just look at the apple when you set it on the shelf. What happens? It turns brown. That's oxidation on that apple. So look at that. So that's common denominator of all those diseases of aging, 200 different diseases. And especially the brain really gets bombarded with oxidative stress. Now, I knew a lot about oxidative stress, like Maria said. I was working as the head dietitian at this cardiovascular hospital, and I found out that the Mediterranean diet was the most powerful and potent diet at preventing the death rate from heart disease. And the researchers said because it was very effective at lowering oxidative stress. So I learned that back in 2000. It was 2011 when I first heard this information, you see. So I'm like, wow, what a powerful combination. The Mediterranean diet, most potent, powerful NRF2 activation diet, combined with Protandim NRF2. Wow, what great health and protection you're going to get. So this is a summary. What is Protandim? It is a combination of 5 herbals that are combined in very low doses that create a synergy, right? And what do? They activate a protein called NRF2, which then, because of that synergy, activate that NRF2 protein, and then that makes them 1800%, 18-fold more effective when they are working together. And I read that when I read that second study on Protandim NRF2, and when they remove any one of these ingredients, this formula does not work. There are 7 patents on this formula. It's US patents, 2 foreign patents. It is this formula there's power in that little yellow pill, and that's why. So it reduces oxidative stress by an average of 40% in 30 days. And I don't know of anything out there yet today. Here I am, almost 9 years later, and still I've not heard of anything that can do that. And probably the most important study that was really conducted on Protandim NRF2, as for years we were telling people, this is the most potent anti-aging pathway in the human body. That's why you want to take this. It's been proven to slow down aging, which was validated by a government-funded study that they conducted on Protandim NRF2, conducted by an institute of NIH called the National Institute on Aging. So for years, they've been taking dietary supplements and drugs and studying them on their ability to extend lifespan. So NIA had already studied, let's look here, let's go back one more. NIA had already studied, went the wrong way, had already studied green tea extract and curcumin. And neither one of those individual nutrients would extend lifespan. But Protandim NRF2 did. The only one that they have studied in 20 years that will significantly extend lifespan, and it's because of NRF2 activation. You see that red bar? That's why. So these researchers are from Washington State University, and they are specialists in NRF2 activation, and they say it's going to become the most extraordinary therapeutic, most extraordinary preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. Wow. Yes. Yeah, that's something to get excited about. Okay, so as you can imagine, when Protandim NRF2 came to market, remember, it is the first in this new category, drugs and supplements, NRF2 activators, right? And if you saw that diagram, remember it says, you know, if you can lower oxidative stress, that's going to help all those diseases of aging, right? So you got to believe that the drug companies and their researchers are thinking, oh my goodness, what if we could come up with a drug that could do what Protandim NRF2 does? We would have a blockbuster, right? So finally, by 2013, biotech company did bring a drug to market for multiple sclerosis called Tecfidera. And so they did their studies comparing their drug to Protandim NRF2. And guess what they found? They found that Protandim is more potent as a NRF2 activator than their drug, and without side effects. Okay, so they never really published this in a medical journal because they don't want to. Right? But we do have it in an abstract because they don't want people to know that their drug really is not as effective as the little yellow pill without side effects. Costs $600 a year. Tecfidera is $45,000 a year. So that's kind of a no-brainer. Okay, so our company has continued to research in this category of nutrigenomics. Nutrigenomics is the science of how nutrients modify gene expression. What?
Who has a phone at home? It never rings.
And it rang just when I was talking about that nutrigenomics, right? Nutrigenomics. So we're getting down. So this is like, you know, for years, I mean, I don't know, for years you've probably heard this, that, you know, like, you know, my people say my dad had heart disease. I'm just doomed to have heart disease or cancer or all those things. But you're not doomed. Only 10% of your risk of disease is your genes, and whatever risk you have with those genes, you can wire around those genes with nutrition and your lifestyle, and with modifying those genes with nutrients. And that's what we're really doing. We're just taking nutrients and put them in a pill, activating different anti-aging pathways, and we're getting down to the root cause of disease instead of just like masking symptoms like you do like a lot of prescription drugs, right? Isn't that what they do? They kind of mask symptoms. So we're getting down to the root cause and down to the genetic level, turning off the bad genes and turning on good genes. And that's what these activators do. And this one is a NRF1 activator, activating a different pathway. And what that does is boosts your mitochondria production, mitochondria being your energy factories of your cells where all of your energy is produced, but they get destroyed by those nasty free radicals, right? So we want to try to get them back, because if you're not getting, if your mitochondria destroyed, your energy is going down, and that happens over years. And so that's why people say, wow, I just don't have the energy I did when I was in my 40s or 50s. But I have to say, I still have great energy. I'm not slowing down, and I'm 70. And so that's what this does. This helps to literally restore your mitochondria, and so you can get your energy back. And you can see that see the diseases that are associated with the destruction of the mitochondria, kind of the same diseases you saw back with the oxidative stress, right? And now our latest cellular activator anti-aging product and pathway is NAD. NAD Synergizer increases sirtuin activity by 100% in just 24 hours. Sirtuins, there's 7 of them, the magnificent 7. These genes are known as also as longevity genes. Okay, so we're helping your body activate another set of genes that are going to help you not only to live longer, but live healthier. So look at all of the benefits of those sirtuins and by activating those pathways. Look at mental focus, concentration. Oh, my husband can tell you right now that he started experiencing that within a day or two. Positive mood and motivation, mental physical energy, healthy inflammation response, cholesterol levels. You can read them all there on the screen. And this chart, this shows you about how we actually activate those sirtuins. The CR here stands for calorie restriction. So I don't know if you've read studies, but I've been reading these studies for many years about how severe calorie restriction actually helps, and animals helps them to live longer and they are healthier. And the reason why is because of these anti-aging genes that get activated, those sirtuins. And you can see that Protandim NAD within 24 hours gives you the same benefit as calorie restriction without going hungry and getting grumpy, right? So yes, but our competitors don't even come close, right? So we just added this. I've been taking it now, I think going on a couple of weeks. If you notice, some of you notice that I'm not wearing my glasses because the prescription, especially with my left eye, is way too strong. My vision has improved so that I'm going to have to, seriously, I'm going to have to go in and get a different prescription. That's not a bad thing, actually. That's great. That's a good thing, right? Yeah. So, yeah. All right. Okay, so this we call the Trice Energizer. And what this chart shows, and it's kind of complicated, so I'm just going to want you to look right here, okay? Just look right there. Because what this is showing you is how these three products work together to modify and activate your genes. So each one of these products activate different genes. Remember, I was talking to you about that, all the different genes, right? So let's look at this, just this NRF2. Okay, so what this chart, what this says here is that Protandim by itself activates this gene, NQO1, by 40%. That's your detoxification gene. But when you take the three together, what does it do? It goes up to 78%, right? Wow, that's a big boost. Here's the anti-inflammatory gene, hemoxygenase 1. It activates at 51%, but look at this, it's off the chart. When you take NRF1, NRF2, and NAD together, look at this. Who would love to have all that benefit in their body? Now, I want to tell you on the inflammatory response is that the inflammation that can kill you is the inflammation you do not sense and feel. You know when you have inflammation and have achy joints. But it's the inflammation in your vessels, in your blood vessels. It's the inflammation in your brain. You're not sensing and feeling that, right? So even if you don't have achy joints, and even if you do and you don't think they're getting better, I can tell you that this is working and this is what it's doing for your brain and your blood vessels. Oh, this product, where's Dr. Brett? I have to have him come up and talk about this, Axio. Come on up, Brett. Okay, I want to introduce you to Dr. Brett Brimhall. Dr. Brett is a chiropractor and very esteemed. I mean, honestly, I do respect this gentleman very much. He and his father have gone all over the world training other doctors and chiropractors. Formulator of how many different products, Dr. Brett?
200.
About 200 different products that he has formulated. So he knows a little bit about quality nutritional products, right, Dr. Brett? You do, yes, a little bit. Yeah. So tell us about this one.
So, guys, thank you, Joanne. I'm back here listening. I'm kind of thinking, they're like, that's a little scary, but it's quiet back there. A lot of eyeballs looking at me out here. And I got thinking about this picture because I knew this was coming up. Guys, this is my nephew, this handwriting. And I got thinking a little bit about this little boy's life. So he's the oldest of 6 boys. His dad struggles really, really bad with anxiety, just really, really bad. And this little boy, kind of that same color, that same suit, you see the picture of that little boy, he's staying at recess to finish his homework because he can't focus in class. So all his buddies are out there playing at recess, he's in. And when he does get to go out to recess, he's one of those last kids that are picked, right? That's kind of his normal. I've literally spent a lot of thousands of dollars working with him and actually buying equipment to do neural feedback and things like that to try to help his brain development. I've been working on him with him since he was young. So can you guys relate to that, some of that his little boy's life? And that was literally what he was exposed to. And I got thinking that there are a lot of people in this room that probably woke up this morning thinking about somebody they care about, somebody that may be struggling health-wise, maybe financially wise, maybe struggling with something like my mom was struggling back in 2007 or 8 when she passed from cancer, right? And wondering, is there something you're going to hear tonight that might resonate with you? So I know there's a lot of you that know people, they're looking for what we're sharing. And I just hope that when you go home, if you're on it, you stay on it. And if you're not on it, get on it. And if you know people that are struggling, that you give them the opportunity to learn about it. Because this little boy's life is different because of these products. So when he started taking Axio and the Protandim NRF2, literally that's what his handwriting did. So imagine what he felt like as a young man here at 9 in school to what he felt like here. Where literally his brain performed so different, which means he thought he was what? More. Right? At the end of the day, like that's what really mattered. And this happened literally because I introduced to this product and company through Carrie Williams. That I was taking care of her son. And so because of this experience, this little boy now won't be one of those kids that's blasted in class and like he's not smart. But I also thought, well, what type of career would he have here versus what career would he maybe have here? And what type of life impact did he have here versus here? And that's really what we're talking about, is the opportunity to hopefully help each of us become more than what we thought we could. And so these products, they're designed differently. Of the 200 products that I have, my dad helped create and I helped teach about, literally all over the world, were designed differently. We designed them to try to help match an individual to help them with something, versus this is designed to activate your body's inborn ability to heal and repair and activate specific sequences that we didn't even know existed several years ago. Very, very different than those you're going to get. So you don't have to guess if these work. You just have to get them in you and you know they're going to work. Right? What you're going to feel and experience is, I don't really know. Maybe your brain will look like this. I'm an artist.
Question. So that's just Protandim and Axio that work on?
So that was NRF2 and the Axio. Protandim NRF2 and the Axio. And so guys, the effect of all these products are cumulative. So which system do you want to not support? I think the next slide is.
Tell them what Axio though is.
So truly Axio is liquid brain food, right? So it's literally NRF2 activation, but for brain. So for somebody like this little boy who's struggling with focus and learning, right? He helps him focus and stay focused in class, right? Differently. But wait, somebody like you, like end of your day, you're like, what am I going to make for dinner? All right, I'm so tired, I want to go home and just sit on the couch, right? It just keeps you in the zone, firing all the cylinders, so you can get more things done, right? That decision-making process happens much quicker. So for somebody that like is tired and exhausted, it might lift them up. For somebody that's just bouncing off the walls, like a squirrel, they can hold their focus, right? And really, are there other people out in the world doing things to try to help that? Yeah, either medication-wise or energy drinks. Yeah, vastly different. So this is actually, you're going to share this story, Carrie?
No, you can share.
So I just kind of hold the question, then we can grab all those, but that way we'll probably hit them. If we don't, just come grab us after. And so that way we can get them
And
all
then
too.
it'll be a 3-hour meeting.
Yes.
Kill me.
We're
trying to keep it to an hour.
Right. So this is actually the test results of Carrie Williams' son. So I got introduced to this company because Carrie was sent to me by a physician that I trained in Iowa. I live in Arizona. So Carrie lived up here. I live in Gilbert. So she would travel an hour each week to come down and see me with their son, who I met at 3. He was diagnosed at 2 with autism. I worked with him from age 3 to 4. And on top of that, he was doing 35 hours of therapy a week. That was his normal life. So who would have the time to do that, or the finances? Well, Carrie did, because literally she had created this business where she had the time and financial freedom to do everything she could to pour into her son, to help him become his best version of himself. So what this is, so this test result is based on letters, name, and sound. And this is look, here's his test scores here. So he had a couple right, he got 0 right of the other. So this is, mind you, this is 30,000 hours of therapy, me seeing him every week for a year, doing what we call the 6 steps of wellness, which is doing everything and other therapies on top of that. And a year in preschool already. And that's where his test scores were. So 11 days into this, I'm taking Axio, he came to my office and he sat still the whole time. He wasn't destroying my room, right? Taking my acupuncture, I'd always hide my stuff from him, right? Because he literally would come in and rearrange things. And I'd have to put him in front of the TV just to treat him. And he was very frustrated because remember a couple weeks prior to him coming in, Gary came in and said, look, he's starting to notice he's different. And he said, I want to be smart like my brother. And to me, that ate me up. I didn't show it at the time, but like I was doing everything I could, and it felt like it wasn't enough. Right? And then his mom, right, hears about this actual energy drink and gives it to him, so you're getting a hyper 4-year-old energy drink. Right? But what are all these medications they're giving kids that can't focus? Stimulants, right? So 11 days, then he comes to my office, had a phenomenal day. He remembers stuff that he was taught, a year previously. 2 of his other therapists that worked with him for a year or longer also noticed the difference. 6 months later, he gets his test results back, and we didn't know this was happening. They tested him, and here his test scores. He went from the bottom of the class to the top of the class.
Wow.
The only change, guys, was the axial. Wow. The only change. And so this is an unusual story. You'll hear stories like this time and time again of other people that their brain work differently when they're activated. Mm-hmm. So who do you know that you like their brain to be a little more activated? Don't point fingers. So carry on the rest of the story there. Oh, there's a clicker? Okay. All right. So there's several other products. I want you to think about it. This isn't about products as much as it's about technology. All right. So what you've heard tonight, in my opinion, all nutritional supplementation will eventually go this way, where you're looking at activation, you're looking at better delivery systems. The way every technology changes every industry, but medicine is the slowest. All right. So we know that the gut function is critical for every other system in your body. Okay. If it doesn't work right, you're gonna have all these sort of things, from skin problems to autoimmune problems. So there's all your fun stuff you heard from, whether it's neurotic like MS to gut problems like lupus. Okay, your joints and everything else. So the key thing is your body needs probiotics. It needs a healthy gut. So you can either take this one, what's called ProBio, which has what's called BioTrack technology. So you get 96% absorption, or you can take a normal one and get 4. Which would you rather? Okay, because it's designed technology-wise to affect the whole digestive tract, and it has something combined it with called low immune, which literally regulates the immune system. You don't want it too high, and you want it too low. Just like your porter, you want it just right. Okay, because if you don't have a healthy gut, no other system will work right. Direct connection between brain and everywhere else. Okay, so what you'll see is this idea of nutrigenomics changed the game. Just like this little device right here, it changed how we all got here today, didn't it? Okay, it changed how we buy things. It changes how we communicate with each other. Guys, this was only around 10 years ago. LifeVantage is a 10-year company applying technology to medicine and how in which your body heals and repairs. You no longer have to guess if what you're taking is working. If you're a human and you want to find ways to tap into your body's human potential, you don't have to look any further. Okay, I spent a lot of years studying supplements and making them. So what LifeVantage has done is they've applied this technology to different places like skincare, hair care, weight management, and pet health. Right, so which one do you care about? Or I always say, which one do you not care about? Right, so the way I look at this is just like this. Living in Arizona, I love Arizona, but in the summertime, could you imagine living here without air conditioning or power or sanitation department? Okay, the reason why you feel like you feel is based upon how well your system is communicating your cells. So if you're not feeling like you need to and you're not utilizing these products, that's probably part of it why. Okay, so you now have the opportunity to take and apply that information however you want. Okay, and here's some cool pictures. And I think that is, so I'm gonna turn it over to Maria.
So before you leave, so as a doctor, you had
As
a
a
huge
physician, yes.
practice, right?
Yes.
So why are you doing this as a business?
So why I'm doing this is, at first, it was kind of that noble, like, what kind of doctor would I be if I didn't share this information? That was the beginning, right? Because I had run out of ideas for Carrie's son. I really had. But God gave it a little more clear for me. So a company my dad and I are teaching for 3 years, let him go without notice. So his primary source of income went away overnight. So this happened all around the same time. Shortly thereafter, I ended up breaking my knee playing basketball. So I have 4 kids, okay, a super busy practice. And I'm hobbling on a broken knee for 2 weeks before I get an MRI. Didn't take a single day off work. Why? Because what happens if you don't see patients? Okay. So I needed a plan B. My plan B that I thought I would do, that I really had intent to always step into, with my dad was gone. And so I ended up here. Okay, but because of the conversation that Carrie and I had, she said, you don't need me to sell supplements, right? Doctors aren't trained to gather people like this. So if you want to know how to do the business and network marketing in the right way, then you want to follow people that lead like they do, to bring people together like this, to give information that is literally going to change lives, both from a product standpoint, but absolutely as a business. Because what little I shared tonight with you guys, if you'll take it and it'll impact lives, then we change kids' lives like my nephews that we struggle with, my cousin's kid that he struggled with, and a lot of your family that are struggling right now looking for answers. So I do the business because yes, it does that. It's also given me a plan B where I was able to sell my practice a year and a half ago, have more time with my family than I've had in the past, and to be able to impact more lives. So that's why I'm here. So, Maria, it's all yours.
Thank you. So I want to turn it over to Carrie Williams, my angel, my neighbor. We lived in the Enclave, so we lived in this community, but a mile down the road, side-by-side neighbors, Williams, but not sisters.
Our husbands are brothers.
Yes. And her husband said, don't go talk to Maria and Noel, they're our friends. Well, thank you for talking to me and sharing this, not only for my health, but what this has done for us. We've both been able to retire our husbands and just have a quality of life. Most of you know my son plays football, and we go to every game and we're there. And it's just been a huge blessing in our lives. So Carrie, I'm going to turn it over to you. Tell your story. Oh, you want this?
Hey guys, I'm Carrie Williams. Yes, now we're in Chandler, we're on the other end of the earth, and we miss our Williams family. But thank you guys so much for coming tonight. We are thrilled you're here. We know you have many places you could be. They told me I had to talk fast, so I don't keep you too long. So I was introduced to this 9 years ago. At the time, I had a newborn baby. It was Father's Day. Luke was 3 days old, and I had a 4-year-old. I'd been a retail manager. My husband was an attorney. He did commercial litigation. I'd been a store manager at Bath & Body Works for 8 years and 5 years for Dillard's before that. And when I watched that ABC video in the middle of the night, I watched that after feeding my little baby, and I started researching it. I was blown away. My first thought was, I want this preventatively for me and my husband. My next thought was, if this is true, this person and this one and that one needs to know about it, right? Is anyone in here sitting there thinking of some people that need to know about this information? Great. Absolutely. So I started researching it. I was intrigued. To me, the product was an absolute no-brainer. And back then, we only had protandim nerve too. So when I realized, wait a minute, every single person out there has oxidative stress. It's linked to hundreds of diseases, and this lowers that by 40 to 70% across the board. Boom. And it just got way much better with what Joanne shared, right? So that was what I first saw. Next, I was at a transition point. I was tired of grinding it out for 60, 70 hours a week. My husband worked 1 million hours. I felt like we were ships passing in the night, and it was never going to change. Anybody feel like what you're doing now isn't going to get you where you want to go? That was me. And so I absolutely saw the business potential position behind these groundbreaking products. So the first thing I wanted to know from a business point of view was, who knows about this, right? So currently, looking at this today, the company is 10 years old, publicly traded on the NASDAQ, just got added to the Russell 3000 index. The stock was running right around $15 a share. I was blown away. We have less than 80,000 distributors in the world. That's it. But we're open in more than 20 countries now. But yet Harvard Business Review and the Direct Selling Association, they say that the first 135,000 per country have the opportunity of a lifetime. So here you have something that every single person needs and nobody knows about. And it's a massive answer with independently funded, peer-reviewed public research backing it. That got me really excited. If you look at what we call this business S-curve, companies initially, they go through the formulation and pioneering stages. That's the make it or break it time. If you get involved in a brand new company, the risk of it going under is massive. So now you've got a 10-year publicly traded company, but because they switched distribution methods just 10 years ago, and it's still a secret, you have a massive opportunity. So, this is where I would say we were before our new N80 Energizer came out. So think about, how many of you in here had an iPhone 1, 2, or 3? A couple of people, right, out of all this. Most people heard about it 4 on. So think about this. I truly believe we've got our hands on a baby iPhone, but it's in the wellness industry, and I am passionate about changing lives. And then with what Joanne shared with you, I mean, do you realize, so back with just Protandim Nerf 2 in 2015, Washington State called it the most extraordinary therapeutic and preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. And now, just 2 weeks ago, we launched our first NAD Synergizer, and between with Nerf 2, Nerf 1, and NAD, that synergy slide. So what we had just got that much better. Isn't that exciting?
Yes.
That got me really excited. So it's like, if you guys, because we had some neighbors that were like, we wish we'd have done this with you guys 9 years ago. I'm telling you, this is, you know, back in like the basement stage of that. It's very, very exciting. And companies, you know, they go through that formulation and pioneering stage like I talked about, but then they will eventually move into critical mass and momentum. You guys, that's coming. We went from 3 million to a $250 million. We're going to be a multi-billion-dollar company. We're also looking for entrepreneurs that see the vision and want to capture a portion of this. So instead of supplementing what we're deficient in, we're activating these different pathways in your body. Big, big, big difference. So I got really excited about that. So if you are here tonight and you are excited about taking these products, I love that. I love the fact that 90% of my business comes from customers. Customers pay the exact same price that I do, less than it was on the shelves of GNC. Like, that's phenomenal. There's no fees to join. Just get with the person that invited you and let them know. You know, if you see yourself taking it, there's multiple stacks to pick from. We like to say, choose your level of biohacking. I would absolutely at least start with the Trice Energizer. Again, that's Nerf 2, Nerf 1, and the NAD, because you're going to boost those benefits. There's a Vitality stack, which is great for single serve little packets, and add the NAD to that as well. Or the Ultimate stack has that, the NAD, and the prebiotic, or there's other options. And definitely take that Axio. You guys, it's literally been life-changing. But if you are sitting here with people popping into your head, and this person and this one and that one needs to know about it, then think about getting involved as a distributor. So there's multiple packs and ways to get involved: $350, $650, or $1250. Each one comes with product. The bigger the pack, the more that you save. If you're truly looking at this as a business, as a way to generate additional income, I would absolutely look at getting the Platinum pack. That gives you all of the products and multiple quantities of a lot of them, and you want to take them. Like, be a product of the product and get your family and loved ones on it. I can tell you that my entire family takes it. My boys are now 9 and 13. They take the Vitality stack, the NAD, and the Axio every single morning. We all take it. It's been incredible. Luke just came home, my little one. So, you know, you heard Dr. Brimhall. That was what caught his attention. So he was diagnosed right at 2. And then at 4, Axio came out. And then we switched him to a new school the following school year and did not tell them his diagnosis. In fact, we did a meeting at my house like this last week, and there was a teacher from his school there, and I didn't know that. And she's like, I had no idea. They flat out don't know a single thing. He came home yesterday with the principal's honor roll. And then he's like, look at my grades on the computer, Mom. Like, they're like 99, 99, 99. But super, super social. He jumped on a plane by himself to New York City and Dallas this summer. He is rocking it, I'm telling you. It is absolutely incredible. And these products don't cure, treat, prevent, or mitigate disease. It's not that we're curing autism or cancer, heart disease. No, we're flipping switches and getting the body to function the way that it's designed to. Absolutely phenomenal. So you become a product of the products, and it's a tax write-off as well. But what we're doing is we're not just selling pills or drinks or skincare, hair care. We're building a distribution network. You know, I was just thinking about this. You know, it just literally started, you know, me going next door. Like Maria said, my husband said, don't go talk to that. I don't want to be that neighbor. So if you guys are one of Maria's neighbors, you can be grateful for her. But it started, right? We always say 2 girls on a mission. And it turns into this, right? People know people know people know people. And so we're building a distribution network to get to move a groundbreaking product through. And we're building residual leveraged income. And I'm equally passionate about the business. As I said, Luke was diagnosed right at 2 years old with autism. This business allowed my husband to walk away from being an attorney at the age of 39. 27 months after I first saw this information. This business is what gave us several $100,000 and what allowed us to pour 35 hours a week into him. And I think about if that had happened with our older son, we would not have had those choices. And I am so grateful for the time and the resources. like Maria said, it's turned into well over 80,000. We've helped retire over 50 people. A lot more are well on the way. But just the idea of sharing something, that's it. We're just sharing. We're educating people. And month after month after month, if they continue to take the product, you get paid a thank you check month after month after month. I always tease Dr. Brimwell, I've sent him so many patients. I've never got a thank you check. And certainly not the first time, and certainly not every time, right? Or I've done hot yoga for 11 years. And I have sent them so many people. So, you know, if you believe in something, what I found is most people, we naturally network, we share, right? Whether it's doctors or, you know, good books or restaurants or movies, but what if you could create residual and then leveraged income by doing that, and it's life-changing. So there's multiple ways to get paid. I won't go into all of that, but what I will touch on is just one way that's called our elite bonus pool. So what the company does is they reserve 4% of gross global sales, not profit sharing, but better, the gross sales. And they save 4%, and the pro 7s through 10s divide up and get 1% of that. The 8s, 9s, and 10s get another percentage. The 9s and 10s get a third percentage, and then the 10s get one more. Why I love this bonus. This is the Great Equalizer if you're looking at it from a timing perspective. Think about the fact that the minute you hit the rank of Pro 7, which just means you've got $100,000 in product, then you're going to benefit in the work that was done since day one with this company. Think about that, how powerful. Think if you could get a fraction of a penny for every iPhone that went out in the world, that's what this bonus is like. And the other thing that's incredible about this bonus is the culture that it creates. Do you guys, does it matter? Does culture matter in who you work with, right? So we are like-minded people. We're passionate about these products. We're passionate about this business, and we're passionate about taking this to a multi-billion-dollar company and getting the word out there. And this bonus really rewards everyone working together. And it's a just incredible environment as well. We'll get that fixed. I told you we're not techies, right? But we are passionate about taking
Go on the other side. Go on the other side.
Absolutely. I love that we're publicly traded. And this is what we call our income disclosure
Anybody
statement.
can do this.
Exactly,
We can do this.
right? That's
Anybody
what, I know so many have said that. We're cool with that. So this actually shows what people are truly earning. For example, the average Pro 3 has $5,000 of product going through their group on a monthly basis, and they're earning an extra $636. Who do you know that would love an extra $636, right, a month? Who could that help with the holidays coming up? The average Pro 5, over $20,000 of product going through their group monthly, an extra $2,900. But that's month after month after month based on work that was done in the past. Powerful, very powerful model. When you hit the rank of Pro 7, that's when you share in those bonus pools. The average Pro 7, over $12,000 a month. So people always say, well, Carrie, who did you talk to? Because trust me, as a Bath and Body Works manager, toxic stuff, I didn't know that all back then. Nobody was coming to me asking what they should take, right? So I talked to everybody. Are you kidding? Did you see what we have our hands in? I didn't want anyone to say, wait, you didn't tell me, give me the choice, whether it's the product or the business. So I shared it with everyone. My boss that hired me at Bath and Body Works, she's a Pro 7 with the company. Dr. Brimhall's a Pro 7 with the company. Marisa, come on up here. Marisa was my yoga instructor. She's a Pro 8 with the company. The average Pro 8 is over $24,000 a month. So Marisa, just share really briefly a little bit of your story and why you're so passionate about this.
Wow, look at all these people. I'm passionate about health and wellness, and that's really what got me. And I just thank God every day that this came my way. I was in a place in my life, I think, where I was looking for something, but I didn't know I was looking for something because I didn't know to think differently. And when I overheard a conversation through a teacher, I was very excited about what I heard her saying at the yoga studio. And I said, what are you talking about, Kay? And she said, ask her. And she points to my 5:30 a.m. yoga student who goes in and out really fast.
I had to run home to get the kids on the bus before my husband went to work.
And so I said, Carrie, what are you talking about? And Kay had whispered in my ear how successful she was. And I was like, she must be a doctor or something. And As you know, she doesn't have a science background. I don't have a science background. I was a television news reporter and anchor, and I did that industry for almost 20 years. And I quit that to have my children and to be home. And my husband is here tonight, so I'm so honored that you're here, Scott, because I wouldn't be here where I am today if it weren't for you. So, and you know that. So I'm going to retire him. That's my goal. But really, what I found is when I saw how we can help other people, it wasn't about the money. Yeah, the money was intriguing, but it was really about the quality of life that changing, like Pamela Walsh or Mark Johnson, whose vision all of a sudden is better from a detached retinal. And the stories go on, and I didn't take it to do anything but just live better. That's the only reason I took these products. I didn't think I was broken. But, you know, we're all aging, and so I don't really want to age. If I do, I want to do it well. My mom died 8 years ago. This came my way right about that time, so it was perfect timing. I was, I quit working and just submersed myself in yoga and to be home with the kids. So I think this was divine intervention. I always say LifeVantage finds you. You don't find LifeVantage. But I rolled up my sleeves and I put my blinders on, and she said, "Are you coachable? Are you teachable? And are you a good student?" And I said, "Heck yeah." And I have done everything these women have told me to do, even at times when I didn't think that I needed to do it that way. I did it. And when I found that I didn't do it that way, that's when I set myself back a little bit more. But this truly is giving our family choices that I could have only dreamed about. I'm just going to quickly tell you, I did not grow up in an entrepreneurial family. My parents argued all the time about what we didn't have growing up, the youngest of 5 kids in Kentucky. So some of that has always stayed with me. And this has allowed me to open my mind, to expand myself, to think past limited beliefs, and know that no one's that special. If you have a burning desire to change your life, and I did, to help other people, but also to give back to community and to help my children and to live a legacy and to leave a legacy, there's so much to it. I mean, it's LifeVantage, the products are great, but the journey is greater, and who you become because of this business is, to me, the best part of it all, and the community. So thank you so much. So
I love the fact that network marketing is a level playing field. It doesn't matter what your background is. I love the fact that we have stay-at-home moms, we have doctors, we have real estate, we have teachers, people like Marisa said, with burning desire for change in their life, with a servant's heart, with work ethic, and that are coachable. Maria and I are each Pro 9s with the company. It's hard to believe, you guys. These are monthly incomes. And again, it's the choices. And great people will do great things if they have the time and the resources. So I will turn it back to you, Maria, to wrap it up. Thanks for being my partner in crime and angel on earth, and saying yes
to me. Yeah. Like she said, it's been life-changing for us, and that's what we want. We want to give the blessing back, because honestly, if she hadn't come over, I don't know where I'd be with my health. And, just before my husband retired, I mean, there was a change at work, and he had an option to walk away. Most likely, we would have probably had to move again because of that change that came. And so we didn't with this. And so, thank you for coming. Please, whoever invited you, get back to them and let them know. No, if you're not interested, that's great. A, if you're not interested. B, if you want to get on the products, great. C, if you're interested in learning more about this business and what it can do and becoming a distributor, we'd love to talk to you about it. And who knows where you could be on the scale of 1 to 10. We know our goal is, now they have an extra one, but we're going Pro 10 in this business, and we want to take people with us, because for us to get there, we're going to have a new Pro 9 in our business. We're going to have a new Pro 8. We're going to have a new Pro 7. And we want to get to where we have 100 families that we have helped. We're up to 50. We got 50 more families that we want to give them the time freedom, the financial freedom, and the health that you all deserve. So thank you so much for coming. There's water. There's Axio back there if you want to try it. There's snacks back there, and there's a lot of great people to talk to.
If you were excited by something you heard too, we're actually going to do a meeting on Monday at
Monday.
Sean's home.
Sean Johnson.
So if you can
Thunderbird and
Seventh Street.
Thunderbird and 7th Street, yes.
So,
All right.
thank you guys.
Thank you so much. Anywhere near Casa Grande, having a whole meeting Thursday at our house in Casa Grande, Robeson Ranch, posted on Facebook.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Take care.